20 years. It has been 20 years this unusual, and highly infamous, mostly in the United States, video game developer has been around. But in truth, it has been a long and difficult journey to make it here. Companies and publishers going bankrupt. Poor choice in said publishers or clients, some of which had very aggressive deadlines. And for being only 6 people at the time, it could have been overwhelming, possibly would have gone shut down in the process. But alas, they have grown and evolved, with about 40 to 50 employees working in Team 6 to this day. This marks its 20th anniversary, and we'll be celebrating it by learning about their past. In 2001, a group of 6 friends joined German studio Blim Entertainment, focusing on racing games. Ronnie Nilles. Back in 1997, he created his own game called Death Compatible, for a contest from PC Zone magazine, and won. Erwin de Vries, trusty lead programmer to this day. Nico Bram, he has experience with many things such as art, graphics and design. Currently he's involved with finances. Niels Clean, an interesting one indeed. He has created MIDI-based music tracks until 2009's Glacier. He also worked on graphics and art, but currently focuses more on level design and as a music director. The other 2 were Omer Stkel and Ilkel Karts. Stkel was a programmer, Kart was involved with sales. Unfortunately there's not much information about them. Working with Blim, they've managed to release about 5 games. Taxi Challenge London, Berlin, and New York. Red Clash 93. And Crime Scene Manhattan. Things were going along smoothly around 2001 all the way to early 2003. That is, until later in 2003. At first, it seemed like smooth sailing, until Team 6 has realized, Blim Entertainment, and I quote, had the bad habit of buying all rights to the games of the original developers, and then claiming to have developed the games themselves. All references to the original development company or the people involved were usually removed, so it can be hard to determine who actually developed the Blim games. Many of the games released through Blim in their early years, 2001 to 2003, were developed by Dutch Team 6 game studios. This can be easily verified by comparing the game engine with Team 6's own early games. It's safe to assume that Ronnie Nilles and the rest were furious in which they were never credited for their own intellectual properties, to a point in which they intended to re-release those taxi games under the Team 6 name. Unfortunately, there has been a legal battle against Blim Entertainment, and they lost, forcing Team 6 to cease and desist any sales and promotions of the re-released games. Of course, in 2005, the team was given an interview with Dutch-based gaming site, Gamersnet, that gave full clarification on the situation, albeit, roughly translated. And I quote, they made 8 or 9 games for this client, including Crime Scene Manhattan. Crime Scene Manhattan? Wasn't it a bad trick? Indeed, this client turned out not to want to do pure business. We were allowed to make games, but we didn't get insight into the sales and associated royalties.
Being a game developer in the Netherlands is quite a tough life. Good publishers are hard to find, but they have the access to the money for your work.
Oh, Davilex. At least that's a publisher that still wanted to cooperate. Other publishers grab your game, and then you just have to wait and see if and when the royalties come in. Or where your game will soon be in the shops and where not. Most of our games have long been known in Russia and Southeast Asia.
What made matters worse between Team 6 and Blim? Upon Team 6 releasing a sequel to a game called Crime Scene Manhattan, Manhattan Chase, Blim then repackaged Crime Scene Manhattan in such a way to cause confusion to the general consumer.
And then there's the publisher who stole some of our old projects. including Crime Scene Manhattan, and now puts it on the shelves as Crime Scene Manhattan: Enter the Chase, in such a way that you really only read Manhattan Chase, while that is a completely different game than the Manhattan Chase that we are now putting in the store. No wonder more and more developers are moving away from traditional publishers, and systems like Valve's Steam are gaining popularity with developers.
Upon leaving Blim, after Ronnie and his friends had been making games in his own attic for years now. Around 2005, they had their first office. During that time, they were complete with Manhattan Chase. Afterwards they were hard at work on two notable projects, Pizza Dude and Glacier Racer, or Glacier, as many would call it.